The total 3 market cap is retesting the all-time high of 2021. Is the market about to see a parabolic leg toward the upside, and will Bitcoin break 100,000? These are questions we're answering in today's video. Let's jump on in. Okay, MegaWhale team, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're all having a fantastic day today. In today's video, we are taking a look at the macro and the short-term charts for Bitcoin, as well as the total 3 market cap breaking through the major $1 trillion level. Before we get into it, smash that like button, hit that comment button, and subscribe to the channel. By the end of today's video, you'll have a deep and detailed understanding of not only the key levels you should be paying attention to on the short term, the next likely moves, the macro charts, and of course how the altcoin season is tacking along. If you are interested in more of this kind of content, you can join us on Telegram. It is the first link down below. You'll get access to charts, updates, videos, educational posts, news events, and everything you need to stay in the loop of cryptocurrency with Bitcoin and the relevant economic news. And if you are interested in taking your trading to the next level, you can join us over in VIP. We post trading setups with exact entries, exact targets, exact stop losses, trade justification, exclusive analysis, and so much more. You'll also get access to all of our group chats, our general chat, our trading chart and education chat, our daily video, our help, our news, and our trade setup chat. Check it out, guys. Over 700 members. You can contact me in the pinned comment of the free channel by clicking my name or these links for more information. Let's go ahead, guys, and jump into the video. So as we can see, over the past couple days, Bitcoin really hasn't done all that much. And we discussed in our prior videos that historically, at the time we see the total 3 breakout of this major altcoin season trigger, that horizontal yearly resistance, we eventually see a local top for Bitcoin, which occurs after the strong rally post all-time high breakout. So we mentioned a few weeks ago, or even leading up to this move, that we were expecting a bit of a pullback for Bitcoin. We saw that pullback, and we told you at the exact bottom that we expected a strong reversal to occur, and we have seen that reversal. Since then, Bitcoin has been developing higher lows on the price action, still failing to get above that $99,000 resistance. Now, this $99,000 resistance is going to be the critical bullish trigger that Bitcoin is going to need to break above to push into the $100,000 region. If we want to see Bitcoin clear into the $100,000 region, we absolutely need to break above this resistance, and we're discussing this resistance in much detail today. Moving over to the total 3, as we can see, a major thing has occurred. That is, of course, the $1 trillion level has been broken on the total 3 market cap. So some big things to discuss today, taking a look at altcoin season, taking a look at Bitcoin in regards to the short term, as well as that recent monthly candle close, and so much more. Let's move over to the market data to start on. So taking a look at this information here, 24-hour volume, 207 billion, up 12%. Liquidations up 22% at 290 million. Of the 290 million in liquidations, 152 million have come from longs and 138 million have come from shorts. That tells us immediately that we are developing or in some degree of a chop zone. We are seeing indecision in the price action, and thus we are seeing pretty equal liquidations on both longs and shorts. Taking a very brief look at that price action over the past 24 hours, we can see Bitcoin has been gradually grinding toward the upside, but still not really able to reclaim that 99k level. We'll come back and take a look in just a moment. Moving over to the DXY closing out the prior week red, opening the current week green. As we can see, we have confirmed deviation from the range high. To us, this is a sign that we are going to see a continuation lower, and this is kind of what we are expecting over the next few weeks or months, provided that this recent high does not get reclaimed. So while the DXY remains under this high point, we are expecting directional continuations lower. If we happen to break above here, then this move is likely to not play out anymore, and we will see a continuation. But for now, we are expecting corrections for the DXY moving into the lows, and that is perfectly timed for, of course, the altcoin season and for Bitcoin to potentially go higher. Moving over to the S&P 500, the weekly close was able to close above the prior close and open price highs, but not the highs of the prior weekly levels. Of course, we can see the closing price was just shy of around about, let's take a look at this, around about $3 or $4 shy of closing a new high. So we are still sitting in this level of resistance. We are needing to break through this region to see continuations higher. Until then, this is going to be a short-term resistance where we could see pullbacks develop from, provided that pullback does not result in the S&P 500 dropping below the 5,700 to 5,680 level. The macro price is still bullish. So if we see a correction into here, we could see bounces, but if we drop below this higher high, that is when we will see a macro downtrend initiate. Until that happens, we are macro bullish. We are expecting higher, but we are aware of a potential short-term resistance at this level. And that is it, guys. Let's move over to the crux of today's analysis. We have a heap to get into. Before we do, if you were interested in supporting yourself, supporting the content, and supporting me even more, you can sign up to BitGet, BitUnix, or BingX to get a lifetime trading fee discount of 15% off all your trading fees. Go ahead and click the links down below. That 15% discount is a lifetime discount, and it can build up to 45% based on your trading volume. Check it out, guys. We'll play an ad and we'll jump back into the video. I'd like to introduce our partner, BitUnix. BitUnix is a global, non-KYC, no country restriction exchange, making it a perfect exchange to trade on if you're from the USA, from Canada, the Netherlands, or just prefer to trade without KYC. This exchange is a futures and spot exchange with over 200 different trading pairs and some of the lowest fees in the game. If you sign up with my link down below, you'll get access to 15% off your trading fees, as well as an exclusive reward center where you can claim up to a multitude in USDT prizes. So go ahead and sign up with my link down below for 15% off, and I'll see you in there. Okay guys, let's go ahead and get stuck back in, and we are taking a look at the total market cap, Bitcoin dominance, and the total 3 to start off with, and then jumping over to Bitcoin's price action. So as we can see, the total 3 market cap has officially broken over the $1 trillion level. Now, the last time we saw this occur was at the top in 2021. It was the top. November 8th, 2021, we saw the total 3 break over and actually reject from that $1 trillion level. So in fact, the total 3 is officially retesting its prior macro high of 2021, which is a crazy thing to think about considering how quick this move has actually really occurred for altcoins since the breakout at 460 billion. But taking a look at this macro chart, this chart is something we've been watching now for the last couple of weeks, and it is essentially our altcoin season chart. It is playing out absolutely perfect as per what we have seen historically from both a structural perspective and a technical perspective. To go over it very quickly, we can see in our prior cycle, we had a combination of 3 things occur which triggered altcoin season. Those 3 things were Bitcoin dominance falling, the altcoin total 3 market cap breaking through its yearly level of resistance, which was our altcoin trigger, and of course, Bitcoin seeing a local top after a strong rally post all-time high, which is the red horizontal line. As we can see, we saw all of those three things line up, and that is what eventually led into an altcoin season. What we can see in this instance is an exact carbon copy of that process playing out. We can see the total 3 market cap has broken through the altcoin season trigger. We can see Bitcoin dominance is dropping as Bitcoin created a local top just under $100,000 and saw a correction. Exactly what we saw historically is playing out again, and therefore it is highly likely, as we have said now for 2 weeks, we are in an altcoin season / the altcoin season is starting. Now, how strong will this altcoin season be? That is completely different. That is a completely different question. But according to what we have seen historically, this is the start of an altcoin season. So moving over to Bitcoin dominance, we can see Bitcoin dominance has now officially broken down from a 1.5 year long uptrend. We can see we have confirmed this uptrending diagonal trend line with the RSI matching our lows on the price action with the lows on the RSI, and we can see that we have broken down from this uptrend as well as had a strong negative momentum shift on the RSI, which generally signifies reversals. So we can expect the Bitcoin dominance chart is going to continue toward the downside in the months to come, which could facilitate a high time frame continuation upward for the altcoin market. Now, for an altcoin season to really develop, we need to see one more thing, and that is, of course, we need to see the total market cap rise. Now, if we do not see the total market cap rise, it doesn't matter if Bitcoin dominance is falling, it doesn't matter if the total 3 is rising, it is likely altcoins will still see a bit of a weaker move upwards in comparison to Bitcoin. So for us to see a strong parabolic season, the strong combination we need is Bitcoin dominance falling, we need to see the total market cap increasing with the total 3 market cap. If we see that, that is telling us that the market is rising, but altcoins are starting to outperform their Bitcoin counterparts, and money is flowing from Bitcoin and into their altcoin pairs, which is pushing altcoins up. As we can see, the total market cap is looking fantastic. We have managed to retest our prior all-time high, and we have actually closed now our second weekly candle above this level, really facilitating this as a level of support for a macro continuation higher. Now, how high will this chart go? That is not something we can predict right now. We have to play it as it comes. But we can say, while we remain above this all-time high, we are in fact bullish, and we are expecting much higher for the total and much higher for altcoins. So overall, guys, it is looking very good. There are some warning signs we need to pay attention to. The first major warning sign for altcoins would be if the altcoin total 3 does not sustain, let's just delete everything really quickly, does not sustain above this yearly high point, which is our altcoin resistance. If we see the altcoin market drop back below here, that will be confirmation that we are not going to see a continuation of altcoins, and that could end the altcoin season. Now, we could come back down and retest. That is perfectly fine, but we do not want to see a weekly candle close below that region. Now, if we look at our prior cycle, we had seen a retest of that level. You can see numerous weekly candles. We had 1, 2, 3. We had 3 weekly retests of that horizontal level, but we have not actually seen a break and weekly close below that region again. So we are expecting this level is going to sustain on the weekly chart, but it is not going to break down. Something to pay very close attention to. That is it for altcoins, guys. Let's jump over to Bitcoin's price action. So as we can see, Bitcoin has just closed a monthly candle. Now, there's always a lot of talk about monthly candles. You know, Whale, is this monthly candle important? Is this important? My answer is simply no. Particularly when we are looking at reversal points and continuation points, monthly candles are just simply too high of a time frame. They are simply too high of a time frame to show any point of significance in what is expected for the price action to do next. Now, there are some things on the monthly chart we are paying attention to. That is going to be high time frame momentum shifts. We've got 2 trend lines on the RSI we are watching. Our first trend line has been broken. This is a positive momentum shift. Our second trend line is going to be from our prior highs, dragging across. That is going to be our high time frame bearish divergence, dragging across as a potential rejection or retest point for the RSI, which may mark the top for Bitcoin if we do retest and reject from that level. Those are 2 points we are watching, but on the monthly chart, in regards to the monthly candle, I know I had a few people had questions about that. It's not something I care about, it's not something I'm watching, and I really don't see any need, particularly when we are in price discovery, to watch that monthly candle, because by the time the monthly candle looks bearish, or the price actions have already dropped significantly, by the time the monthly candle looks bullish, which has, the price actions already risen significantly. It is massively lagging. There is almost no need to watch it, but we are watching how the strength of the price action does shift on that monthly scale. So the RSI is something important. If we see the RSI drop back below, that would signify that, again, this positive momentum shift has not been able to sustain, and that could mark a top for Bitcoin. But for now, we have broken above. We do expect that continuing higher. Moving over to the weekly charts, there is an indicator on the weekly we are watching. This is going to be our Vortex trend tracker. We can see historically, the Vortex trend tracker has been a pretty good indication of macro reversal points. It has not predicted the exact top of Bitcoin in terms of the 4-year cycle every time, but it has predicted macro reversal points for Bitcoin every time, where Bitcoin has dropped, 30, 40, 50% after the Vortex trend tracker indicator has been met. So as we can see, we have retested it once, we have retested it twice, we have retested it 3 times, and we have retested it 4 times. As we can see on every single one of these retests, we have seen strong corrections. Some of these are resulting in bear market tops, not all of them, but they have all resulted in strong pullbacks for Bitcoin that have at least been around 15, 20, 30% on the actual market price. So we are watching this trend line moving forward. If we do retest that, that could mark a potential top for Bitcoin, where we would expect a high time frame reversal to develop from. Will that mark the top for Bitcoin? That is something we have to assess if the price action retests that level and how the price action is looking at that point in time, but it is a level we were watching very, very closely. The next indicators I do want to show you are going to be again on the weekly chart. This is simply going to be the Gaussian channel in Ichimoku Cloud. Again, it is on a weekly chart, so it's going to be slightly lagging, but if we do see breakdowns of both the Ichimoku Cloud leading span A and Gaussian channel upper band, that will mark the end of the macro uptrend and the initiation of the bear market. Now, that is not expected to occur for quite some time, and if it occurs, up over here somewhere or down over here somewhere, it is still going to mean the same thing. Historically, when we have broken below both of these levels, we can see right over here, we broke through both of these levels. It resulted in a macro downtrend. In every single prior cycle, we have seen the same thing. A loss of both of these levels have resulted in macro downtrends, something we are watching very closely. Let's move over to the short-term price action though. As we've said already, for Bitcoin to continue into that $100,000 region, to really see that next leg upwards, we need to break above 99K. This is the level we need to break above, simple as that. While we remain under there, we do have the potential to see corrections. However, what we are seeing here is some upward consolidation. We are seeing upward consolidation as we have equal highs, and we are developing these higher lows as the price action is moving upwards. So it's a good sign. It is showing that we are developing new supports, and thus we have demand at these price points. I said yesterday in Telegram, and I'll say it again today, the best case scenario right now is that Bitcoin consolidates sideways for some time. It tests these levels. It shows that there is demand at these levels. It builds up liquidity before it makes that next move, because doing that, and yes, it will take some time to consolidate, will facilitate money to rotate into altcoins and for altcoins to continue to run. If we see Bitcoin just go crazy over here, there is a chance money could rotate back out of altcoins. We could see Bitcoin dominance go back up, and we can see altcoins again underperform in comparison to Bitcoin, as we have seen on basically every single strong move up for Bitcoin. So that we are seeing a consolidation sideways here, particularly an upward consolidation sideways, is actually a good thing for altcoins, and it is a good thing for Bitcoin, provided that this upward consolidation remains a upward consolidation and we do not drop back below some of these higher lows develop. So let's take a look, guys. If we are going to drop below this higher low, the particular one we're looking at is around 95K. If we drop below here, that alone could result in a strong correction back into the 92 to 93K region. That is worst case scenario for Bitcoin. If we see that, it is likely we then continue back upwards. Worst case scenario for Bitcoin, for the bearish case, at what point are we bearish? We would be turning bearish on Bitcoin if our 91K low breaks and we do not see the price action deviate, meaning we do not see deviation. We see a breakdown from here, a retest and a rejection before continuations. In our eyes, that would be bearish because on the daily chart, it is highly likely that a move like that would result in a negative momentum shift on this major uptrend on the RSI, a representation of the strength of price action, and again, the trend of price action we have been in since the initiation of this strong overall uptrend. So a breakdown of that RSI, in my eyes, would result in a top being in for Bitcoin, and for Bitcoin to see a correction before we then build back upwards. That is what I'd expect if we see the RSI to break down. So to avoid the RSI breaking down, we need to remain above 91,000 at the minimum. Between there and here, I am bullish. Between there and here, I'm expecting an eventual break upwards, but I am more neutral on Bitcoin right now as in comparison to altcoins. That is me personally. Again, when Bitcoin breaks 99K, it is highly likely I will open up some new Bitcoin positions and expect continuations well into the $100,000 region. But until then, we do run the risk of corrections while we remain under, particularly watching these prior lows for reversal points and bounces. If we have to draw in some short-term trends, guys, we do of course have our uptrend, which is developed from this point over here. Again, this is the level we are watching closely. If we do drop below this region, we could see a move back into our lows. But overall, this price action is more or less just upward chop, meaning it's not moving in any clear, distinguishable, fashionable way. It is simply moving between our lows and our highs, chopping between. So in these instances, it is best to watch how the price action responds at these lows and highs and then place your bids in these levels rather than mid-range trading the price action, as it is likely you're just going to get chopped out, particularly if you are trading on higher leverage or smaller time frames. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a fantastic day and we'll catch you in the next video tomorrow. See you then.